Alright, this is one of my favorite songs of all time, written by the Pixies, and this is my version. Sister resist, giving my goodbye. I drive my car into the ocean. You think I'm dead, but I sail away on a wave of mutilation, wave of mutilation, wave of mutilation, wave, wave. Sister is here, giving my goodbye. I drive my car into the ocean. You think I'm dead, but I sail away on a wave of mutilation, wave of mutilation, wave of mutilation, wave, 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 wave. Motherfucking G-Lo.
Turn it on!
No, I
Yo, motherfucker!
Chapter 3. No ability. Come with me, it's a dream. Walk like the night inside. Open the inside. Laugh at the stars were shine. Let me take you to life. Chapter 3. No ability. Self-less. Come with me, the walk like the night inside. Alrighty, people, this is the Call Me Crazy Show, episode 86. As you can see, there's a picture of this guy named Scott Peterson. If you don't know who he is, this motherfucker here is accused of killing a woman by the name of Laci Peterson and her unborn child. And guess what, people? He cut off their head. This motherfucker killed his wife and their unborn kid by chopping off their head, dumping the bodies in the San Francisco Bay Area. And 5 months later, they wash up, badly decomposing. And this motherfucker was caught trying to go to Mexico for $10,000. So you people who think about killing your wives and your unborn kid by chopping their heads off like some medieval Braveheart, Gladiator, lame-ass piece of shit movie, then you got it all wrong, people. This is what happens when you kill a wife and kid. Here's a picture of the woman that was killed. If we can get a close-up. You can see here in the black dress, this Scott Peterson from San Francisco area murdered his wife during the Christmas holidays and in the process killed their unborn kid. Reports are that their heads were missing from their bodies. Prosecutors in San Francisco say they're going to seek the death penalty against Scott Peterson. He said that he is innocent. I say he's guilty as hell. Fuck that. We all seen the videotape footage of Saddam Hussein being pulled down on the statue of the likeness of Saddam Hussein and being dragged to the streets. Hopefully, if there was justice in America, and lately there seems to be no justice in the judicial system in the U.S., hopefully this motherfucker would get lynched, somehow be dragged to the streets of San Francisco on a garbage truck and see what happens, and let him know the inhumanity of the crimes that he did against the wife and the unborn kid. May his soul rest in hell. Fuck Scott Peterson. May he fucking get butt fucked like Jeffrey Dahmer did back in November 28, 1994. So screw Scott Peterson. I hope he rots in hell, and I hope he gets the death penalty. And long live Laci Peterson. Okay, enough of that, people. Okay, I also found out Laura P. Diwa, the first American Indian woman killed in combat in a foreign war. They're having trouble with naming a peak up in Phoenix called Squaw Peak, and I always thought Squaw is a lame title for anything because that refers to a lot of people, a lot of minorities, which is the American Indian, saying it's a lame excuse to brand an Indian name. So I think it's courageous of Janet Napolitano, who's the governor of Arizona, and I think it's great that she brought up the topic of naming Squaw Peak in Phoenix at Laura P. Diwa Peak. So hopefully that will happen, but as far as I'm concerned right now, I know the Arizona State Legislature is having trouble. They had some run-ins because there's been some sort of a solitary case of intimidation by one of Napolitano's aides. And basically now, the political process of getting something named in Phoenix has started. We're to a point where people are forgetting the fact why the mountain is getting named Laura P. Diwa, because she died in combat. And here we have lawmakers in Arizona and the state capital in Phoenix making these lame-ass regulations, people resigning, causing a lot of lame-ass hoopla, and we tend to forget that blood was shed all so we can have the freedom of me and you having the discussion. And here we have these Arizona Phoenix lawmakers saying we can't name this peak Laura P. Diwa Peak because it's not, she hasn't been dead 5 years. Fuck that. I hope she gets named on this peak. And you know, for all you lawmakers in Phoenix and our state capital, you guys can all fucking suck it and suck it good. You fucking dumb motherfuckers. Really, people, you would think soldiers who built their lives and God knows we had World War II, World War I, Vietnam, Korean War, Civil War, the Revolution, all the blood spilled only so we can have these fucking Arizona state lawmakers saying that it's not appropriate that we name a mountain for an American Indian female killed in combat. What? Let's see these fucking Phoenix lawmakers put their fucking ass on the line, and we'll ship them out to Kuwait, we'll ship them out to Iraq, and let's see how they like it. Yeah, let's see how those fucking lawmakers. Fuck all the lawmakers. You guys are only for the rich. The poor get poorer, the middle class gets middle class, and the rich get richer every year. So screw you all, and I hope the mountain is named after Lori. Long live Lori. Okay, right now there's a new epidemic in the world called SARS. SARS is a new disease that came out of Asia, China, Beijing, and what it's SARS, what it stands for is a severe acute respiratory syndrome. Apparently, right now, as of today, there's been more than 1,814 reported cases of infection from China. Worldwide total right now is pushing 3,500 to 4,000 cases. Excuse me. 3,500 cases to 4,000 cases worldwide of SARS. SARS basically began in China, they say, from dirty poultry marketplaces. And what it is, you never know you get SARS unless you wait 10 days. 10 days after you're infected, that's when symptoms appear. And as of today, Toronto has 6 cases. And as we all know, Toronto is next to the U.S. So it's just a fucking matter of time, people. Remember, people, back in 98, 99, I was talking about motherfucking bird flu. Back in 98, I was talking about mad cow disease. SARS, we have to take it seriously. People in China right now, in Asia, what they're doing to make the kids not be really panicky, because they really are panicked. The schools are shut down in China and Beijing. Schools are shut down. They can't even do anything because the panic and the fear of the disease is really in the air. And so what they're doing to make the kids not really freak out, all those surgical masks you've been seeing on the news about the people in China, and people in Mexico City do it too, in London, because the smog control is so bad. In China, they've been painting their surgical masks like Mickey Mouse, Barney, so when the kids wear the surgical mask, they're not really aware that there's a dangerous infection lurking in the air while the kids are playing the daycare. So they wear these surgical masks painted as Barney and Mickey Mouse, and that's a sad thing, because you know what, it's just a matter of time. I know it's early 2003, but watch, come 2018, 2019, to the U.S. will not be safe from anything. Okay. The U.S. and North Korea had talks for 3 days in a row, and as of today, there was no resolution to the idea of the North Koreans doing a nuclear test, even though the U.S. is saying don't do it. So now not only do we have a little war going on in Afghanistan chasing Taliban and Al-Qaeda fighters, we have a war going on in Iraq that has a lot of skirmishes fighting resistance, and now we have to worry about fucking the leader of North Korea, Kim, who's threatening to make a nuclear test possible in defiance of what the administration of George W. Bush is saying. So fuck this guy. The leader of North Korea, this guy, he loves Friday the 13th movies. You know what? I recently heard this today that they're making Freddy versus Jason movie, comes out later this year. I would love to see the leader of the North Korean government, Kim, in the new movie Freddy vs. Jason, and I would like to see like a Street Fighter brawl. It'll be like the leader of North Korea plus Freddy plus Jason. I think it'll be a great movie, because we all know Kim, the leader of North Korea, is responsible for hundreds and thousands of deaths, because he'd rather have the money that goes into the country for having orgies with hundreds of girls, doing drugs, and watching Friday the 13th movie while his fellow countrymen, men and women die a horrible and painful death from starvation, dehydration, and torture. So fuck you, Kim from fucking North Korea, you fucking Don King looking motherfucker. Alrighty. Okay, in Iraq, we now know the war is over in Iraq. Okay, people, technical difficulties. Okay, in Iraq, northern Iraq, Kurds and Arabic citizens are what they're doing, trying to do a resolution for the terms of them two different people and tribes. What they're saying, if you trespass in my tribe, we'll kill you. And apparently there's been a couple of citizens who died who are Kurdish and Arabic. And they get been killed for being in the wrong place in the wrong time. And that's the occupation and liberation of the U.S. Iraq. Okay, we all know in Baghdad, in the early days when Baghdad fell and the statues were falling, a lot of Iraqi citizens plundered and destroyed and looted the museums of Iraq and Baghdad. And the people, you gotta remember, these museums held the artifacts at the beginnings of civilization 3,000-4,000 years ago. It was started at all, began Iraq. There's reports that said that Garden of Eden is located in Iraq. So you can see what I'm saying. I don't know if it's true. I read it somewhere and I've been reading a long time about it. I know how to read maps. And it does say in the area what the Bible says, Iraq is where the Garden of Eden was supposedly was at. Oh God, sorry. Okay. We all know back in October 2002, lame ass mofo motherfucking sniper John Lee Malvo, that's the 17-year-old kid who was helping the 14-year-old man up in Washington kill 13 people by sniper shooting. When he confessed to the killings, the fucking little punk ass motherfucker confessed to killing FBI agent in the head. He laughed about it to investigators of the FBI. And so they're seeking the death penalty. Fuck John Lee Malvo. I hope he gets butt fucked by Adolf Hitler and David Koresh. Okay. The family members of all the patrons who attended a Great White concert in Rhode Island are seeking a lawsuit against the state because the state failed to have a fire marshal declare the club unsafe due to the fact that the insulation in the back of the stage was not suitable enough to have a concert that had pyrotechnics. Okay, on a lighter note, I'm looking forward to X-Men 2, comes out this Friday. I'm looking forward to Charlie's Angels 2, Full Throttle, starring Demi Moore, starring Drew Barrymore, Lucy Liu, and Cameron Diaz. Yeah, I had the first one on DVD, great movie. Matrix Part 2 and 3, Matrix Reloaded, Matrix Revolution comes out this year, Terminator 3, Rise of the Machine comes out this summer, Legally Blonde 2, Reaching Where the Spoons Rock, My World, Legally Blonde Part 2, Tomb Raider 2 with Angelina Jolie, fuck Billy Bob Thornton. If she wants somebody to rock her world, all she has to do is come to Tucson, Arizona, call me Crazy Show, and I'll rock her world. And we can bring Nicole Kidman along too. Okay, Fast and the Furious 2, starring Paul Walker. That's the main guy versus Vin Diesel in Part 1. He makes a reappearance in Fast and the Furious Part 2. And I gotta go, people, motherfuckers. I'm out of here. Until then, I'll see you guys in a little bit. But long live the USA, long live the soldiers, long live the armed forces, long live Chief Triple C, long live George Lucas. And you know what? Long live Call Me Crazy Show. And long live you, the viewers of Tucson, Arizona. 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 You, the viewer. What up, people? This is the Call Me Crazy Show, episode 86. You can saw earlier segment earlier. Okay, get back to the point of what I was talking about earlier. What up, Tucson, Arizona? This is the Call Me Crazy Show, episode 86. I want to thank T-Triple-C for making it possible, and Marley the editor, and a lot of people out there on TV La La Land. And you, the special viewers who are watching the show, who make it all possible. Okay, people, I'm going to go off on tidbits again. Okay. As we all know, the Marines pulled out of Baghdad. The U.S. Army is now in place, the Marines, but the Marines have pulled out of Baghdad. And I also found out today also that there will be a decrease in military deployment to Iraq, because now that the fact that the Saddam Hussein regime is no more, there is no reason why there should be no fly zone patrols over northern and southern Iraq, because we all know back in 1991 the no fly zones were enacted, being used by being protected by the UN and U.S. warplanes, keeping the southern and northern tip of Iraq safe. But now that Saddam Hussein is not in power, yeah, that's great news. Now there's no more reason to keep a lot of those military presence people there. So it's good to know that they're coming home, and God bless them all. Okay, now we're going to talk about Laci Peterson. We all remember her. Unfortunately, she died back in December. She's the woman who her body and her unborn fetus were found in the bay in San Francisco. And we all know Scott Peterson was arrested a couple days ago for the murder of his wife. It's just a horrendous way to die. When they found the corpses, her head, Laci Peterson's head, was missing from her body. Apparently, I guess they were able to find the rest of the pieces, but I'm not too sure about that. But I hope Scott Peterson, I hope he gets the death penalty, because that is inhumane to kill an unborn fetus on top of killing your wife, the mother of your own flesh and blood. And apparently, I also found out that he's being held in isolation at Modesto County Jail, because apparently the people in jail and prison are looking out to go after him, because if there's anything worse than a child molester pedophile motherfucker in prison, it's just to know that one of the inmates killed his wife and killed the kid. So killing a kid is just as bad as you molesting them. So they said that he's only allowed 15 minutes of exercise a day, and that the other 23 hour, 45 minutes, he is in isolation, and that's good to know, because that is a bad way to die, and he should spend the rest of his life knowing what it feels like to be so alone. And hopefully he'll get gang raped in prison. Okay. Also, the wife of Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela is a great man who's been over 25 years in prison in South Africa, just for being a great person, for making things possible. But we all remember back in the day when he did get out, he had a wife named Winnie Mandela. Apparently they got divorced a while back, and as of yesterday I heard Winnie Mandela, the ex-wife of Nelson Mandela, is going to prison for 5 years for theft and fraud. You would think, people, that you're married to a great man who still persevered in the face of atrocity and torture and solitary confinement in a prison in South Africa for years and years, and it was in the end that he was able to get free. That his message of bringing racism to an end is possible. So they set him free. And wherever he goes, people mob Nelson Mandela. And you would think the wife of Nelson Mandela, a great man, will know not to steal and know not to be doing fraudulent schemes. So she's gonna get 5 years, people. 5 years, Winnie Mandela. Okay, I also found out the Hillary Clinton, Senator Hillary Rodham Clinton is going to be writing her memoir. Apparently her paycheck for writing her memoirs are in the 7 figures. So we'll have to see. We'll read the book, because I read everything. But I will read the book and I can keep you posted. And I want to read the chapter on the Hillary Clinton, on the chapter that she's going to write about Monica Lewinsky. Because that's going to be interesting. Okay, we all remember Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx was in a movie called Any Given Sunday. Famous. He's funny dude. And he also had a show called The Jamie Foxx Show. I'm not sure if it's still on. But he was arrested for fighting the popo in a casino, because apparently Jamie Foxx was told by security to leave the casino, and he got in a fight with police people, and he got arrested. Jamie Foxx. Okay. Paul McCartney is the #1 richest musician in the world. Last year, he increased his fortune to $1.2 billion. We all know who Paul McCartney is. He's one of the former Beatles. Half of the songwriting that was the Beatles with John Lennon. Remember back in September 11th, Rudolph Giuliani was the mayor for New York City. Now he's marrying his mistress, or former mistress. Okay, we all remember back in summer of 1994, we were all glued to the set because we saw some murder suspect in a white Bronco going down the LA freeway with a gun to his head, saying that he didn't kill his wife and the male friend. Yes, people, I'm talking about OJ. OJ and some company, TV production company, have an idea for OJ to have his own goddamn reality TV series. And I'm sorry if I said goddamn. But it gets us sad to think that a former murder suspect, and we all know he fucking did it, might have his own show, just like Anna Nicole Smith's show on the Osbourne. You know what I would like to see? Let's get all those like family TV viewing people. Like, let's get the Osbourne, we'll get Real World, we'll get O.J. Simpson, and we'll get Anna Nicole Smith, and they can all live in a big house, and we'll get a really good reality TV show. And then he'll be something funnier to do. Let's put some knives in the house with O.J. on the reality TV show, and turn off the light and see what happens. Okay, people, remember the Dixie Chicks 2.5 weeks ago said that they were ashamed that President George W. Bush was from Texas, and ever since then their CD sales had plummeted. They had no more fan base, and they say that they're in fear for their lives. So they said a lot of people have been doing deadly threats against them, against the Dixie Chicks and their family. They also had a big time interview with Diane Sawyer. I saw a couple minutes of that. They can say whatever the fuck they want. The way I see it, if you're an American, you can say whatever the fuck you want in America, because it's the freedom of speech. Freedom of speech. Eminem can say whatever. The Village People can say whatever. You know, who cares? Who the fuck cares? Okay. Everybody Loves Raymond, where Ray Romano might be doing their last show next year. That's just hilarious. Okay, and then here's a remember I was talking about the judicial system not working and whatnot. In Ohio, the Ohio Appeals Court dismissed the Smith animal abuse charges against a man because he has the right to bark back at a canine police dog. Apparently this man was arrested because he was like, I guess, barking back at the police dog, barking back, growling at the dog. And the judges in the Ohio Appeals Court says that any man or woman can bark at anybody, including a police dog. Okay, people, these people writing those laws and dismissing the charges, they don't know what the fuck they're doing, because you know why? Because they're not in the lower ranks of what middle class society and the lower class society. They forgot all about the idea of what needs to be changed. They're saying, oh, we're gonna have to figure out something about this people barking back at dogs. Hey, I got an idea. It's your right to bark back at a dog. So that's in Ohio. So if you're ever in Ohio and you ever get in trouble or whatever with a canine dog because you're doing God knows whatever, and the police dogs are barking at you, if you're in Ohio, you can bark back at the dogs. And you can thank the Ohio Appeals Court for that. Okay, alrighty. Oh, here's something fucking nasty. Okay, people, in New York State, two brothers had a threesome with one of the brother wives. So basically, one brother was making out with the same girl with the other brother, and guess what, people? They got arrested. Not doing it at home, like you normally would think some of that swinger shit go on, but you would know back in New York State, if you're riding the subway cars, you don't see that shit happening. But in this case, apparently the passenger called the police because the passenger said the two brothers and a woman had a threesome right in the goddamn seats in front of everybody, in front of kids, in front of the passengers. They even got the conductor to come in and say, look, they're fucking having sex in the fucking back of the car. And these people didn't care, apparently. They still went at it, and the conductor couldn't do anything about it. And they went at it, I guess, for half an hour, people, in the cab, with people in there. And they did it until they came to the final stop. And when they got to the final stop, the police rushed into the cab and arrested the two brothers and the sister-in-law, one of them the wife of the other. So they got arrested for public lewdness. That's New York, people, that's New York. Okay. I don't know where this happened, but apparently a woman by accident called 911 by accident on her phone. And basically, people, I want to give you guys a tidbit. If you call 911 by accident, best thing to do, call them back and say, sorry, I punched in the wrong number. I didn't mean to call. Because you're tying up phone lines with the 911 people. People could be dying. So if you do it by accident and call 911, call them back and say, oh, I just made a mistake. Nothing's wrong here. I live here in so-and-so place. Nothing's wrong. Everything's okay. Apparently, a woman called 911 by accident and hung up and didn't bother to call back. So the police, the dispatcher sent the police to the woman's house because they were able to trace the call. And when they got to the house, they found drugs in the house. All because the woman who called 911 by accident forgot to call them back. So they arrested her because they found plants and paraphernalia in the house. Okay, here's something funny in Waco, Texas. You know what happened in Waco, Texas 10 years ago? If you don't even care, people, I guess I don't either, but I do. Okay, in Waco, Texas, David Koresh was a cult leader who managed to be in a FBI standoff with the FBI at the Branch Davidian compound, and a lot of kids died by suicide. A lot of them were murdered. A lot of people were shot and killed. He killed himself in a big old fiery blaze, and that was that. And then we all know what happened 2 years later. Timothy McVeigh took vengeance for that shit. But anyway, Waco, Texas. In Waco, Texas, an inmate escaped from a facility, and I guess he was able to sneak into a school. He snuck into a school, into the prop room at a local school, and he traded the bright orange jumpsuit and the fucking shoes, and traded it in for a bright green leprechaun outfit. And then the guy, the inmate, took off running away from the school. in this leprechaun outfit. Can you imagine people like the kids are like eating a bowl of cereal or whatever, or you know, you might be having a whatever party in your room, and you manage to look out the window and you see the fucking bright green leprechaun fucking hauling ass down the road. And apparently a lot of people called in saying this guy was acting erratic because he was caught a couple hours later still in the bright green leprechaun outfit. And it's not as Lucky Charms Day it is, ain't it? Okay, in Iowa, a man had walked into a supermarket with a 12 can box of the beer. He had a 12 can pack of beer box on his head with hole punched out, and he went into a supermarket like a jackass Tom Green impersonator. He went into a supermarket and did $20,000 worth of damages. It took him maybe less than 30 to 40 seconds. This guy went into the supermarket with this beer box on his head and managed to trash just about everything. Get about the whole store. Like 200 man hours to clean up. And he did $20,000 worth of damage. And he was caught on videotape. Has not been apprehended. Here's the question. Where were the employees? It was reported none of the 15 employees working on the late night shift that night could recall seeing anything. Okay, people, I'm out of here. Okay, I'll see you guys episode 87. Until then, Godspeed to the armed forces. Long live the USA. Long live Comic Crazy. Long live the television. And okay, people, bonus segment. Okay, people, what I have in my hand, courtesy of Marty's Archives, we have Citizen Toxie, The Toxic Avenger, Part 4. For all you people out there who love movies just as much as we do, this movie is made by this company called Troma. And for all you people out there who all know who Troma is a production movie house out of New Jersey that made Toxic Avenger Part 1, 2, and 3. And they also made several classics that me and Marty, and I'm sure you people do too, just because it is hilarious. Surf Nazis Must Die. That's a great movie. And Class of Nukem High, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. But with this movie here, Citizen Toxic Avenger 4, this movie is so crazy. I highly recommend it, people. Check it out. Order on the internet. Hopefully it'll come out as a video one day. But you gotta remember to watch a movie called Toxic Avenger 4. Because it's just hilarious. It's downright cool. If you think you've seen it all, and I'm saying if you think you've seen it all, wait until you see Toxic Avenger 4. We highly recommend it. Great movie. DVD. Also, on a cool note, we all remember in the 80s what the second golden age of horror movies, and we all remember one of our favorites. Alrighty, people, on top of that, one of my favorite things from the 80s that ushered in the golden age, the second golden age of horror movies back in the middle 80s, or early 80s, middle 80s, and late 80s, was a movie based on a story by H.P. Lovecraft, Reanimator and Bride of Reanimator, and that was in the 80s. Part 1 and 2. Guess what, people? Part 3. Beyond Reanimator. But yeah, it's gonna be a great movie. Reanimator, like I said, is one of my favorite movies, one of Marty's favorite movies. I swear, people, it's out on videotape for a long time. Reanimator, but you gotta go check it out. The first one and part 2. The first one I highly recommend because, like I said, the cool zombie flesh-eating, brainless, headless, necrophiliac, truth serum, autopsy special effects stuff in the movie that I swear is cool and pretty much beyond its time too, before its time. So we'll keep you posted on Reanimator Part 3, and also what else I want to talk about. The Exorcist Part 3 comes out. Okay, people, we're gonna close off on Reanimator theme from the upcoming movie Reanimator 3.
What